You ever been in a relationship that you knew deep down was hurting you, but leaving just felt physically impossible? Well, today, we're going to dive into the science of exactly why that happens. We're going to explore a really challenging, but honestly crucial idea that sometimes what feels like this all-consuming love is actually a powerful form of addiction that's hijacking your brain. And this quote right here, wow, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? If you've ever been through this statement is just so incredibly validating. It completely reframes the struggle. It's not about a failure of willpower on your part. No, it's about what was really happening, a targeted physiological process going on inside your own brain.
So here's the core truth we really need to get our heads around. That insane roller coaster of emotions, the incredible highs followed by those devastating lows, that's not passion. It's actually your brain's reward system being manipulated. It creates this powerful, addictive pull that honestly has very little, if anything, to do with real, genuine love.
So how does this actually happen? Like, what's the science behind it? Let's break it down. We're going to look at 4 key ways your brain gets trapped in these painful dynamics. And listen, understanding this stuff, that's the absolute first step to breaking free. Okay, first up, we've got this thing called intermittent reinforcement. It sounds complicated, but it's pretty simple. It's basically a pattern where affection and approval are totally unpredictable. One day, everything's amazing. The next, it's all gone. And you have absolutely no idea when you're going to get that good feeling back. It's that uncertainty that creates one of the strongest, almost obsessive forms of psychological attachment theory. And here's the perfect analogy. It's the exact same mechanism that's behind a gambling addiction. Seriously, think about a slot machine. It's not winning every time that gets people hooked, right? It's the chance of winning. It's the maybe this time. Your brain becomes obsessed with chasing that win. In this case, the win is that moment of affection or the return of that good version of the person you fell for. Now, this leads us right into the next piece of the puzzle, the trauma bonding cycle. And it's such a simple but vicious loop. Here's how it works. The relationship causes you intense emotional pain. Then, the very same person gives you some temporary relief from that pain, which of course just leads you right back to more pain. And here's the kicker. Your nervous system isn't bonding with the person, it's getting addicted to the relief. And what's going on inside your body is it's a chemical roller coaster. All the chaos, the big fights, and especially those makeup sessions, those spike your dopamine, the feel-good pleasure chemical. But then the withdrawal, the silence, the uncertainty, that floods your system with cortisol, the stress hormone. So you're going from this massive high to this crushing low, and your body ends up mistaking this intense chemical cycle for deep, passionate connection. And the last piece here, this one's a big one. These relationships often feel so powerful because they plug directly into our oldest, deepest wounds. A fear of being abandoned or a desperate need for approval. A lot of this stuff comes from childhood survival patterns. So this up and down dynamic can feel weirdly familiar. It's not that you're consciously choosing pain, it's that your brain is just repeating a pattern it learned a long, long time ago to survive. Okay, so what's the real cost of being trapped in a cycle like this long term? It goes way beyond just feeling hurt. The cost of all this chaos is a slow, steady erosion of who you are, of your very sense of self and your own inner peace. Yeah, over time, your entire sense of self-worth just gets completely tangled up in their approval. Their mood becomes your mood. Their validation feels like the air you breathe. And that's exactly why leaving feels so terrifying. It's not just like you're losing a partner. It literally feels like you're losing a part of yourself. And this brings us to something that so many people who get out of these situations experience. It's really confusing. You find someone kind, stable, healthy, and it feels boring, maybe even unfulfilling. It's a question that can make you totally doubt yourself, thinking, what's wrong with me? What do I even want? Well, here's the answer, and it's so important. It's not you. It has nothing to do with your preferences. Your nervous system has literally been trained to associate chaos with love. It's been running on adrenaline and cortisol for so long that when it finally encounters genuine peace and stability, it feels unfamiliar. And your brain's #1 job is to keep you safe, so it often labels unfamiliar as unsafe. Okay, we've spent a lot of time talking about the what and the why. So let's shift gears and talk about the how. How do you actually break this cycle? The absolute key is to understand that this isn't just an emotional battle you're fighting. It's a physiological one. I really want to pause on this quote because it's a game changer. You don't need more insight. You need nervous system regulation. You can analyze the relationship forever, write journals, talk to friends, but insight alone won't break that chemical bond. The real work starts with regulating your nervous system. You have to treat the addiction at its root, which is physiological, before you can even begin to deal with the emotional fallout. So here's a 5-step roadmap to get you there. Step 1. You gotta call it what it is. Name the pattern. It's an addiction. Step 2. Expect withdrawal. The cravings, the anxiety, that's totally normal. It just means your brain is starting to recalibrate. Step 3, and this one is absolutely crucial, you have to remove those intermittent rewards. Step 4, you need to actively work on stabilizing your nervous system. And finally, step 5, you start the journey of relearning what real love actually feels like. All right, let's zoom in on step 3, because it is, without a doubt, the hardest part, but it's also the most effective. Removing the intermittent reward means you have to cut off the source of the drug. And this isn't just about not seeing them. I mean, zero contact, no checking their social media, no sending that just one more text, no asking friends how they're doing. You have to completely starve the addiction. No emotional access, period. Now, once you manage to break that cycle and your system finally starts to calm down, a whole new chapter can begin. This is the good part. This is about finding out what a real, healthy connection feels like after the storm has finally passed. And just look at this contrast. It lays it all out so clearly. What felt like love, it was intense, it was all-consuming, it was confusing and packed with anxiety. But what real love is, it's consistent, it's safe, it's regulating, which means it actually calms your nervous system down instead of firing it up. And above all, it's respectful. It's just not about chasing a high anymore. It's about finding peace. And let's end with this one last powerful thought, because once you get this, it changes everything. You aren't addicted to them. The addiction was never to the person. You were addicted to the temporary relief they gave you from the very pain that they were causing. And understanding that, really understanding it, that isn't just an insight. That's freedom.